incredibly close to a team you couldn't put away in Vitality, but you can take them down a peg here and now securing yourself that semi-final bye.
We saw MOUZ get up to some absolute nonsense on this map yesterday.
Yeah, I wonder if he's in the same mood.
That was against Heroic, who actually pushed them to a third map. CT side start for MOUZ. Torji, aggressive cat earlier, has Spinks to chip in from middle with Exertion. Mid-door smoke lands to segregate this defense. The Torji stand his ground or back off.
He just fires a single bullet. Now, you can see that Exertion is going to throw out the flash for Torji's re-aggress. Doesn't catch Nico. Still had his vision. P250 equipped on him, and yeah, has his bell rung there. Exertion, a bullet through long range. MOUZ does 60 damage with his Glock.
Yeah, interesting that he's used the HE for the clear of the smoke with the USP. It's not an AWP, but we're going out late long into Brolin and Torji with the bomb. A split on the docket. Here they come.
If Torji can hit the first, it sets Brolin up for this pistol round. Pressure being applied by Kixon. Does it pull anyone away? Brolin is to give them exactly what they were waiting for. Now they're going to overwhelm him. Can he stabilize? Actually, in combination with Torji, they've done more than stabilize. They have thrived. 5 alive. MOUZ take the pistol.
And look at the energy that Torji's bringing immediately there.
Real.
I think they feel the same as what Yanko has highlighted. You go back to those last 2 series that they played with in the semifinals of Melbourne, as well as the rivals. And it was a 13-3, a 13-6, a 13-6, and an overtime affair 16-14 on Nuke. Now, Nuke being the pick of MOUZ in both of those series, they've decided to take it somewhere else today. It's going to be Mirage, our second map.
Let's fucking go, boy.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of it today. There is a lot of kind of hunger, a lot of desire on this MOUZ camp to make this one a very popular day. Jimmy, tested on B, gets 3. No problem to handle and swat away the Glocks.
Well, hopefully they were able to scoop that up. Exertion's there to grab that rifle, but looks like he wanted to see if he could get in with the SMG in time, but can drop back, pick it up. Torji is being very direct. I noticed when I turned on the stream earlier today, we had these comms a lot clearer up, so always nice to get that extra little bit of info.
I loved the fact that I learned that Carrigan has a call called Terminator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe is that unleashing a leash?
It's on Mirage, something to do with Con.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, right now, it's going to be the rifles out for Falcons. As Torji said, no AWP as Exertion's going to start with some jarring aggression. Him and Spinks in towards the lower tunnels. Yep. They're out long. Brolin's on notice.
Out long. But behind that smoke, and it kind of feels like we're trading spaces. So CT's claim upper, T's claim long.
And look at all the nades on the CTs, right? The fact that they've played into upper tunnels immediately, and Spinks is even pushing into backyard. It's going to be the timing of Falcons pushing through this smoke, and Tessus with a beautiful opener. Here they come.
Yeah, didn't manage to try to track the taps of Torji.
Just Torji for now.
Just Torji, yeah. Tucked on Gandalf. Magical kind of process of eliminate. The Gandalf is likely occupied. Here comes some support. Throws out a smoke to give him something to play with. Torji, he's making it as difficult as possible, delaying that Falcons plan, trying to take this A site. Torji chips in onto Nico. Zergent mantles up for just the one. Tessus will stop him in his tracks.
Bombs loose on ramp.
Yeah, it's Kixon tasked with picking it up. Good cover from MOUZ, his first contribution on this Falcons T side. Spinks wrapping around long. Good timing on that. Removes MOUZ, and look at the damage onto Magisk. Really needed a kill out of Magisk, but Spinks has found it. Kixon left alone in the clutch. Bit of damage dealt to Spinks. Torji buying his time. He's going to hit that uncrouch. A hard headshot for Kixon to hit an advantage for that M4, but he's hit it anyway. Spinks has that incendiary HE as well. This could hurt. Kixon down to 79 from the HE shrapnel. Here comes more util. He is just going to have to take the fight. Commits to the spray. Kixon comes up clutch.
Important one there. Captain's clutch early for Kixon. Going to set the tone on this. Started with the man advantage given over by Tessus. He gets that pick towards longer to Brolin, who only had the SMG in that little outing. But MOUZ direct on the CT side. I love the fact we've seen them take this aggression. They're able to swarm them so early. It was the pacing. They were unable to block Falcons. In that situation, you're hoping that you stall them out with that oppressive smoke. You allow your teammates to rotate in, and then you can use all the U2 you held onto, the HEs, the flashes, the smokes, as well as the incendiaries to stall out Falcons on the plant. Will be a force buy in here from MOUZ, and I say force, that's because Jimmy and Brolin are just down to a pistol and an SMG between them. Torji's AWP, and now extremely limited utility as Torji posted up Cat. He's going to have presence from lower and top mid momentarily, and now the internal timer has gone off, needs to back away. through the paces of the default. Falcons are going to get what they're looking for. Remember, last two head-to-heads on this has been very dominant from Falcons, so a strong start for MOUZ. Winning a round like this can really help them.
In a way, and MOUZ was kind of ready for it, but Spink still profits. And then Brawlan will activate Magic's pulled away. Nico claws back one. And he's not even concerned that Brawlan's going to be pushing top middle. His teammates glancing at Palm, calling it clear.
They don't know about this AWP yet.
No, Torgy, kind of a security blanket for MOUZ. They aren't concerned about A because the AWP... Woof, you hearing that?
Yeah, well, that's a qualification game going on right now. Aurora versus Heroic. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, Torgy does manage to continue his reign of terror. Two quick sequential AWP frags to secure the round. Only Nico left. Not going to be easy to even dream of a plant. Torgy holding his cross.
They give him respect.
I mean, at this point, they're just waiting to three-man bomb rush short with a flash. He will get that bomb down.
Need to hit some one-taps.
Yeah, there we go. Nico's been doing this for so many years. The muscle memory doesn't kick in. Not enough to tap the first head cleanly. And so, there you go. You discussed it.
Did Torgy say, I'm on fire just there?
Yeah, he is looking sharp.
He's had impact on the pistol, and now in the hemorrhage round, as far as the buy concerned, a couple of key kills on that AWP. And like I said, were they ready for the AWP? Because they've only dropped one smoke. It's the elevator smoke. Doesn't give them that immediate cover from Car. And he hits two big shots. The fact he goes in for that repeat, love to see it. The confidence thriving right now. But Aurora versus Heroic is a rematch from day number 1. On Monday, Aurora as well as Furia both had to make the arduous journey from Kazakhstan, taking part in PGL Astana. And Heroic got the better of them. Now, you could have chalked that one up at the time to jet lag. Yeah. However, Heroic, as we touched upon, did take a map off of Falcons. Oof.
Nico's taking a head off of Brawlan.
Hero AK.
Yeah, already drawing blood. Now an opportunity for Tessus. P2! Oh, he can't find the head of Spinks. He's not ready! Oh, he was not ready for 2, but he still gets 1. You know what? He'll take that. With just the P2, building off of that Hero AK opening, still feels like this is a mammoth task, converting anything more.
Well, Kixon with the smoke at least gives them something to work with. So he's going to drop one over towards mid doors. Now, if they stay in a group, you don't want Nico to lead. You want him to be second so he can trade upon whatever information or kill comes against them. There is a HE available to break this, so the timing on when Jimmy wants to drop it, now. Sit, wait.
Nothing to report.
So Exertion's been tasked with dealing with B as well as mid. Jimmy's joining Torgy on A, 55 seconds.
Still a plethora of utility for Exertion, but he has actually gambled towards CT. This is the path of least resistance that Falcons have found.
Do they just save if they lose the site, MOUZ? That's the question.
Whoa,
Exertion is starting to float back across the doors. Remember, there's no utility to block this. Exertion will get some fights.
Here we go. The incendiary. They will push out ahead of it. Oh. That's a crazy kill from Kixon. He's doing it all on his own.
You have to save now.
Yeah. He just runs out. He has the bomb on his back, and he gets the entry. Respect to Kixon. Considering
they had no smoke or molly to block window or doors, they had to be done with the bodies. This is the opener from Nico. The Hero AK paying off. Massive work from him as Jimmy gets the trade there onto Tessa, sure, but it's all about this kill. Exertion responding in time, but Kixon, his impact for both Falcons rounds. This time it was only a kill, not a 1v2 clutch. However, we'll keep it as a one-round game. So MOUZ had done the hard work. Torgy got himself involved, but Falcons aren't letting off the gas just yet. We have a back-and-forth affair early within Dust2.
Yeah, 100% of Kixon's kills have contributed to a round win, that's for sure. 2 for Falcons and 3 for Kixon.
We can quickly just return to the Aurora versus Heroic match. That is going to be locking in the third team from this very group of Group B. Now, today, I think that has to be Heroic. There has to be Heroic.
Yeah.
Right, they took down FaZe earlier today. They spoiled the party for Simple returning.
Yeah. I mean, some great performances from Heroic's individuals.
Oh, Tania, we were talking about him when we had him on our screens the other day against Falcons. Fantastic. But you've got some massive moments from X-Flat. Yes, some Pius with clutches on Anubis.
Yo, did you see that one bullet, last bullet, one tap?
Yes.
Come on. Really, really pretty. Wait, that's a fast B smoke.
Yeah,
are we going?
There's 2 here. The AWP's here as well.
Yeah, Torgy's set for success. He's in the right place and he profits. Jimmy as well chips in. Nico watching sidelined. Kixon maybe can give them some hope. He gets his. Burning in Torgy. He had no idea. The flashbang was perfect. And now Xertion activates. Does remove one. MOUZ caught crouching. Kixon, the unknown entity, up close. Could be a good HE there. Pushing through the window. Magis beheads the first. Brolan using that smoke to activate and push through. Oh, Magis gets all about the timing. Just as he looks away, averts his gaze, but still Kixon stands. He can't do more.
Good job, bro.
Look at the energy. There's been such a considered conversation coming in today's match. This is a seeding game.
Yes.
Normally you find Alex and I in this scenario, okay guys, it's not the end of the world, you know, it's just a seeding game. It's either going to be quarters or so. That's a team flash. If we could get that again, so you can see the flash come through the doors there. That's what caught poor Torji in that situation.
Damn,
So,
yeah. I mean, he bailed himself out as best he could, but did get overrun by it.
Yeah, so the team flash not costing them, fortunate, because that's where things can start to sour. But again, into the buys. Kixon's been given the ult for the long peek, smoked off for now. This one's definitely got some pep to it. Loving the way these brawls are going down within these rounds. So both teams with their snipers equipped with the primaries. Now it's m0uZ's turn towards mid. Clear of the smoke.
Oh, and m0uZ profits. Removing Torji early, a valuable asset to Falcons' team side.
Yeah, it feels like when Torji's been in the right place, he's been able to stop these rounds with a couple of key kills. Now he's down. How are they going to operate? Spinks floating around mid doors still. Jimmy on B with an SMG. Exertion having to worry about that of short, and Brolan has just smoked long for the second time. It's only going to last for another 15 seconds or so. Looking to come late out long, the three of them, Magis, Nico, and m0uZ. Kixon joining them from back, Cat and Tessas to keep options open with the upper tunnels lurk.
Oh, we're just walking through.
I love this. No sound cues, no flashes, no scurry of steps, and they can keep this contact.
Like, no indication. Look at the backs turned right now. Xerxes and Brolan are fully locked in on the potential for short.
Spinks, is he in the open?
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, not the weapon. Does go down. Combination of bullets do combine. Two on short side. Nice chip back from Xerxes.
Oh, that's a huge
They need
miss.
to get the bomb across. Kixon and Magis do get it. And it's only Jimmy on the wrong side of the map with only an SMG.
You can see Jimmy on high alert. He's aware Tessus is still alive, knows he's the upper tunnels individual for Falcons, so still worried about having a player with an incision on the side. But I think Tessus has heard him. He's called Kixon over, and they're trying to remove everything right now because for MOUZ, the buy going into the next, it's not going to happen. They are going to have to force with the min-loss bonus, but if you can remove everything, even this SMG, you can make your life a whole lot easier. We're talking 1.5 on the low end, 2.5 on the high. So it has to be the buy from MOUZ considering the financial situation. Here's the opener. And AWP's now becoming so aware of that, right? The CT's clearing smokes, trying to get a cheeky kill. They're just going to sit and wait for that. Remember Shiro doing that back in the Shanghai Major of last year. Well, the Austin Major, this one is just around the corner. And both of these teams, they have their names in the hat for the title alongside Vitality. They'll be coming up next versus the Mongols. Be impressive if MOUZ can make this round tight. Winning it feels out of the question when it's two MP9s, a couple of pistols, and the scout. But early long leer from Brolan liberates a whole lot of space.
Magic's tasked with containing any long aggressions. It looks like they may actually be returning for a little late long question.
Torji's looking through the doors.
He is. So if Torji sets up, baits them in, they may overlook Brolan up close. And how's that for bait? Hits the headshot. Magic's next victim. Just 1.5 from the SMG. Torji fakes the runaway, sticks around. Second flash pops right in his face, but Kixon a little too hesitant. And now Torji with a white screen still pulls the trigger, removes Kixon. And how's this, Chad? You said it wouldn't be possible. However, with only 2 left, m0uZ and Tessus are tasked with a rather nasty 2v4.
I can't believe Falcons have returned to that again. They've had this really keen eye on the late longs grouped up, and MOUZ have found the perfect counter. The combination of Brolan and Torji, who is the man right now. He can't be stopped. 10-3. Set them up for a winnable moment as Tessus and m0uZ will walk out short. There's a smoke, 2 mollies, and a couple of flashes. Exertion's going to get his hands on something a little bit tidier as Torji communicates A is completely open. Here comes that util. Bomb just needs to get planted. m0uZ and Tessus have a shot at this.
You certainly do.
No kit.
After the util throw now. Flash to swing across. Torji does miss one shot, but Tessus, he knows that there's another encroaching. Spots out Xerxes. That rifle profits. Takes the head off of Tessus, and now m0uZ, he's a dead man. Scoping. Getting closed in on. Gap closed by Spinks. And MOUZ, with only 1 casualty, will steal that one back.
Now it's just about Okay, Torji, again, just very, very loud and clear on the comms, trying to make sure that they scavenge back all the weapons. The AKs are picked up, the AWPs is in play as well, so just making sure they got all the goodies. So very important that they've done that, because this is still so back and forth. Scoreline now 5-3, and needs to be said, it's early on in the piece, but m0NESY not sitting on a heater the way he has been against the likes of NRG as well as Heroic. m0NESY on this map yesterday, if you missed it, if you were only caught that crazy bullshit no-scope through the doors and thought that was the highlight from him, but he was getting up to some absolute madness. The 1v2 clutch, the buzzer beater against some Pius, the spam through B doors to deny the plant. He was getting away with absolutely everything yesterday.
Yeah, one of those games where you just can't do any wrong. You know, every decision you make is the right one. Every bullet on the wallbang connects, every sixth sense through a smoke. He had it all.
And both of these teams so far within this have gotten away with lighter buys or forced investments. Remember the Nico Hero AK into the round conversion. Now it's a couple MP9s and a scout to get them across the line. Falcons will invest once more. m0NESY given the AWP.
I'm fascinated, yeah, to see if he can step up and deliver when a round like this. His teammates will boost him up to try and facilitate, but yeah, 3 getting across, using that smoke to guys there across to B safely from that potential for an m0NESY AWP.
Torchi's got his towards short, so might have another head-to-head in a moment.
Looks like it could be coming, could be imminent. The smoke plumes, Torchi posted.
Team flashed again.
Yeah, a few of those. There's a nade break from the CT side. m0NESY doesn't get anything from it. Still that potential for that short collision. Torchi 10 frags already. Torchi dips back. That flash will likely force a drop-off, or he was just stuck and go for one.
He's anti-flash right now, Torchi. And he's just given it up completely, so more than just the flash.
No smoke to block on Torchi.
Right now, they're getting what they want out of MOUZ, right? Forcing exertion between the mid to B as well as A. Brolin's pushing long. He's going to call bedroom clear. So it's what's the read? Do you think this is going to be a mid to B or a B pop finish? Do you think it'll be short? Do you put faith in Torchi? Apparently so. Limited util for the finish now. Well, that second smoke didn't land perfectly.
This is stressful. If you're Torchi, you're feeling under a lot of pressure right now, but they are actually walking towards the stacked site. Spinks in the window. Flash good. Xertion just going to be baiting him in. Look at that for the first. Nico still good for one though. Tessus Deagle still onto Jimmy. It's Nico versus Spinks and he gets it. Awkward. Very awkward for the CTs now. That bomb will go down next to Nico. The elevated angle overlooked by m0NESY. And so Nico thrust into a 1 versus 2. Smoke down on the doors and he's not, is he?
I think
He's
it'd
just
be crazy to go
He's
for
just
that
checking
type
for
of play.
tons. Thought he was going to go knife out for a second.
Brolin has a smoke and a couple of flashes. He's going to channel them in through window because of this door smoke, or do they wait it out? They have the time with the kit.
He just has to hit the first bullet clean, right? And he hasn't done it. Torchi, quick to the AWP. Finds the frag and the 6th for the CT side.
Okay, well, the fact that we find ourselves at 6 rounds already for MOUZ, they have hit that same mark in these last 2 head-to-heads with Falcons. 6 rounds on Dust2 is the best they've got. Is that Nico Smart? That's not a happy one. That's a, I don't know, surprised? Maybe
determination.
Yeah, a little bit venom in that one, I think. But the bomb goes down again. I think at this point, Falcons will have to give up the back and forth nature and just go for a light investment. Loss bonus going into the next is going to be the 2400, and they will be able to purchase full. So right now, MOUZ are going to be able to put themselves up to a 7th round ever so likely. And I think just with the way that this game started, the first 9 rounds, there's a bit more freestyle with the team, right? Because when you don't have full util, when you don't have all the weapons of choice, there's a bit more calling required for your likes of your Kixons, your likes of your Brolins, as well as the coaches chipping in. What are we going to do with our limited utility? Do we have good spawns? What are we going to play for? And you've seen that from both of these teams. Now, Nico's gone a scout. Everybody else has invested in a deagle other than Kixon, who has a Glock and a smoke. MOUZ, you've got a 3-round lead, but you'd love to make it a whole lot more. And if you want to get there easily, keep as many bodies alive in this one as you can. Well, that's not going to help the frustrations of Nico.
Yeah,
that one might.
That's going to maybe cheer him up. Temporarily.
Wow.
I respect it. Tessus knew he was peeking into an AUG with a Desert Eagle, and he goes for a second double dip. Fair play. He lost 2 teammates already.
Listen to those shouts. They're just getting louder and louder down there.
Oh, it's intense in the Aurora Heroic game.
If you don't want any spoilers, mute the stream now. I'll give you, I'll even give you 10 seconds. I'm feeling quite generous today. That's a 10, 9, 8 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're on map 2 right now. Heroic pick Train. They won that one 13-3, owning Aurora, excuse me. Now they're on Dust2, which is Aurora's turf, and it's a close affair. 4-3. Now 5-3 in favor of Aurora. So that one looks like it could go the distance, and you'd love it to, because you want Aurora to be in the arena for the key reason of them getting a big win ahead of Austin to put them back in contender status, or maybe even light consideration. I don't even know if we can call it contender status. For the likes of Aurora as well as the Mongols, they really struggle in the arenas. For Heroic, if they find this late surge as well, that would also be a keen eye going into Austin just around the corner. But there you have it, swept under the rug. Spinks with the final 2, 7-3. All right, let's do Liquid, shall we? Let's see what Liquid is.
So...
change players every 3 to 6 months.
Right.
That's what they're aiming to do right now.
Yeah. Liquid Shock's a highlight, of course. Danny Sorensen takes his.
Well, long spawns, Alex, taking a look at those, they're not fantastic.
It's going to have to be something a bit more methodical.
Yeah, it might have to be the default coming out of Falcons. You could send MOUZ out, right? Nico's with him too, so they have still the chance to go for it. Let's see if they do that. I was going to say, not postured as a team to do so, so into that.
They're going
for a pick. All right, they're going for a pick.
Some long bodies. In fact, 3 players taking a fight here from MOUZ, and MOUZ just waltzes out. MOUZ and Nico, side by side, and they both collapse at the hand of Brolan. He was very well supported there, make no mistakes. It was Sershin flashing, Spinks swinging with the Swede. It results in 2 early deaths for Falcons to stomach.
Do you think Liquid was for long, or do you think that the call was changed in the timeout?
I'm intrigued as to whether or not that was the Liquid.
Either way.
It worked out wonderfully.
It did indeed.
And dead.
Ah, beautiful.
So aware.
Yeah, Spinks pays the shots, Exertion makes the kill, trying to punish that slip out mid. Now they're walking through the smoke.
Spinks should be destined for at least one of these. Jimmy, the other. Just as you look away as well. It's all about staying active.
Beautiful. That's
on
teamwork.
These CT positions. That is teamwork, Chad. Yeah, a prime demonstration of Counter-Strike team play. 8 now to 3. This is the CT side MOUZ were dreaming of coming into this series.
Yeah, this is beautiful, right? Because earlier in the year, the conversation around MOUZ was, all right, they got rid of Shui. Like, can this really work? And then, yeah, it did. And then I was, all right, well, they've still got what they had with Shui and Cyclone. Brolin and Cyclone are going to run out at some point. Right. Brolin's not a natural in-game leader. But no, they've kept this up all season long with strong performances. Sure, Falcons have come and taken the crown of the world #2 in the late stages. But a win here in this seeding match, and if they're the ones who can make it all the way to that grand final.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, for MOUZ, Falcons playing another close game versus Vitality ahead of the major would be disheartening for them.
Well, this is the key. Assuming Vitality beat the Mongols, then if you win this game as MOUZ, you can only meet Vitality in the grand final.
A big win available for MOUZ today, and taking leaps and bounds at this first map. Falcons pick as well, and Torji is definitely looking his best self. 15 frags now as he chips in with an opening kill onto Falcons captain. They're coming towards Jimmy. He's got that orb for a reason, and again, that orb mows down Tesses. Breaks the smoke open. Nico an opportunity for 1 dig upon the release of the crouch key. It's MOUZ and that Galil, but there's the rest of MOUZ just chipping in to finish the job. 9 to 3. MOUZ making a statement here in Dallas.
More than just a seeding match, MOUZ are on a mission to take down Falcons for a much-needed confidence boost going into the Austin Major right around the corner. This will put in the semi-finals and a likely chance to avoid Vitality's side of the bracket. Torji has come to play today. MOUZ, meant to be the highest-rated player in the tournament right now, has been sat on his ass. Torji, 17-3.
He's kind of doing what MOUZ did yesterday. You know, it does look like it's Torji's map right now. You just can't get past him. I am, however, seeing a little aggressive CT. Tessus investigating middle with MOUZ.
Well, fortunately, Brolin is joining the pack. If he was... Well, that flash is nice.
Yeah, MOUZ anti, leaping Glock. Spinks hits his.
Good info.
Tessus at least gets him down.
Go, go, go.
Yeah, they're going to be accelerating. Nico going to try and race them to that ramp cross.
Brolin's flash is key here.
You're right, it's in the air. Nico blinded off, looking for the elevated head shot angle. Not an easy shot. The tip of the balaclava. They advance across. Nico hasn't been able to connect. However, the Glocks have. Tessus catches a nasty one. Jumping attempt from Kixon does nothing. Ooh, he has got one flash, hasn't he? Throws it up high. They swing and are trying to advance. Brolin confirms that. One from Nico's USP, but looking good for MOUZ. Just Magisk and Nico trying to fight back. Good click from Magisk. Brolin on the side. Down now. It's only Jimmy.
Still
in
time.
trouble. They have closed the gap. Running him down. And there's the bullets from Nico into the backside of Jimmy. Magisk and Nico step up.
May have overplayed their hand a little bit there, MOUZ. It felt really good with the opening kill over towards middle, and then all that information that came their way. They hightail it down long. They get across. They get the bomb down, but the fights just go in favor of the Falcons. So a hard retake, but a necessary one if we want to see map number 1 being competitive. The desk discussed. Falcons being slow starters in a few of their maps so far at IEM. Well, that's a slow first half. They're going to need a quick, smart pickup into the second. Now, the bomb going down and the kills coming through does facilitate quite a juicy-looking second round force buy for MOUZ. Khalil's scout pistol upgrades as well as U2 in the mix. Mandatory conversion to force MOUZ onto the eco. Falcons know they win this one. There's a chance to draw this ever closer. Likely going to find themselves with a 9-6 scoreline off the back of this. Mid control taken. And without any resistance whatsoever. Falcons playing heavy for B in case of a B pop. Nico's cheated back to deal with the mid to be MOUZ. Still with only 3 kills. He's going to have a whole lot on his plate. They have the smorgasbord right now for the execute. Both smokes can come in. Mollies can go over towards the site. Plenty of flashes. His support network is Nico through CT.
Yeah, they're miles away. This execute's coming. MOUZ only a FAMAS and a flash to his name. Crouches down, trying to reintegrate back into society. Finds Jimmy. Not bad. Torji puts him down. Advancing into the site now. Nico, now it's his turn to move. Spinks, a headshot found, but it's hectic on the spray. Awkward for the two of them. Just Magisk cowering in CT with no way to win the round. And so MOUZ immediately return back to the regular scheduled programming of a MOUZ Dust2.
Yeah, Falcons reading the situation completely incorrectly there. The fact that they're just able to essentially dry run a short execute.
Yeah. I mean, they had limited nades, but it certainly didn't feel like it. They got to short and had the nades for the exec, despite only 2 players being able to actually afford stuff on their belt.
This is it, right? Because you're in those situations against the Force, and now that, you know, the Galil's cheaper, or if they get a couple of kills, AK could be dropped. They're always going to be very threatening. On the CT side, you have to make that especially with only 2 players staying alive. Let's say you have 4 players stay alive, and your armor, you don't take any damage, then you get cheaper upgrade into head armor, then you're able to get the M4 out with utility behind it. Falcons have to go, all right, we need SMGs in certain players for nades. All right, I'm going to get a FAMAS instead of an M4 so that I can get that utility to lock down key components of the map. But this one is running away from Falcons fast. I feel we're missing a trick right now, aren't we? I hope people have got the secondary stream on as well.
Yeah, sounds like Heroic having a lot of fun.
There's a bit of a party going on, and we're not invited.
There are Falcons.
They're being ushered off the premises of Dust2.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of a respite from Kixon getting a double kill on the 5-7. He certainly knows his, he knows his ball game.
No, he was going, no, we are invited. We picked it. It's our map. I promise. Oh, look, check, I've got the wristbands. No,
Got the
you
stamp
don't.
on the hand. How is he still alive? How
I'm
is
not
this?
sure.
How is this like remotely realistic? Goodness me, Kickson gets the most out of that, but
A stray 5-7 bullet, and he's back in that one. There's a huge smile on Torji's face there.
I can't get over how loud Heroic are being, man. I mean, they've definitely come in with like a point to prove, haven't they?
I think the thing is, because they were so loud on map number 1, they also rubbed Aurora the wrong way.
Yeah, okay.
So they have also been loud because it was 8-4 on the first half. You can flick it on right now if you want to see how things are unfolding into the second, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and our audio-only listeners.
I see. So it's almost like out of spite.
Yes.
Aurora are now also being very loud.
And you have to remember, the individuals on Heroic, there was the Sangal core. And the Sangal core we had, it was like the Turkish derby, right? Because of Xcloud and Jota being on that
right.
Turkey. Well, now Jota's on the other side of the server. So there's a bit there.
There is a little
for sure.
there for sure. You're playing when you're playing against players that you know you've played on the same team with. There is always extra spice. No question about that.
It's great to see her competitive, as this one isn't. Falcons will have to force by their way out of this map, and map number 2, Mirage, will remind you again, the veto has been changed for MOUZ this time round. In 2 previous occasions, semi-finals of Rivals as well as Melbourne. In both of those occasions, they picked Nuke. In both of those occasions, they got 2-0'd.
Interesting approach with the 3B. Now, hang on a second. Monacy, he's the only person on the A side of the map, and he plays aggressive. That might force you into a little bit of a trap. Has Spinks heard these footsteps in upper tunnels? As they start to try and advance forward. It's Nico's Deagle next up to bat. Roland, will he overlook a potential for a second? Not at all. He was standing ready. Game face on and delivers. Low ammo for Brolan. Tessus tries to punish, but just enough ammunition to get the job done. Monacy's Deagle, it started off with a little bit of a banger.
And I really think we just have to return to Yanko's point as Monacy gets tucked into bed nice and tight. Is the importance on this seeding match for MOUZ.
Yes.
2 semi-final losses when you were the bridesmaid to Vitality throughout the season so far. And not getting a map and being dominated on those makes you come into a game like this with a point to prove.
100%.
Now for Falcons, it's hard for them to find that same fire.
Understandably so.
Now, getting thrown around the server, likely going to lose 13-4. If that doesn't ignite the flame, then we'll have to wait and see if they can bring it on Friday, because they'll be in the quarterfinals.
I think that this is the first rather than the latter. I suspect that Mirage might have a few more twists and turns in store, especially if MOUZ finish it right here and now.
Look at this call. Be executing to one individual on the site. Just Magis for now, as Falcons play for info, but here they come.
Yeah, they're running rings around him. Magis, he's going to be found out. Lovely awareness from Jimmy. Even gets it while he's in the air. Who needs to be having boots planted to be accurate? What? You see the range
by
on that?
long range Goosh.
What a Nico face eye roll clip. Give it to me. And just push it through smoke. I think Falcons have accepted. This one's done. Everything's working out for MOUZ and quite the contrary for Falcons. Certainly a nice change to the marinade in this head-to-head. The last 2 have been very much Falcons. One-way street. Now MOUZ show they can fight back. In fact, put Falcons down quick and efficient on Falcons map pick.
Failure to launch. Are focused with good energy. They just need to carry that through. Torji was a force to be reckoned with. Des discussing the CT setup for Falcons, but we'll get into that once the rifle rounds are on the table. This is the pistol. Can MOUZ make it 3 from 3?
Kickson's only got himself a smoke here, so no Kev.
Actually, they lost the second pistol. on Dust2, didn't they?
Yeah,
that
they
A
did. Smoke
retake.
gets thrown, and he's just going to have to pray for one. Tries to get ahead of the flash. How about two? And he's in the smoke, knifing and slicing. And he's got one! No Kevlar, no problem. Kixon has single-handedly thwarted the commitment into B with a smoke grenade, a couple of bullets, and a kitchen knife.
It doesn't even need to reload. He picks himself up a Glock and says, come on through, the water's warm.
Wow. What a dream start for Kixon and for Falcons. That's a fantastic outcome. And the bomb spews out under the van. There is nothing you can do.
No, you've got time, but you've got no hope, really. They're rerouting, so the two of them joining up, which will likely be towards top middle, just making sure they're not boxed in. But m0NESY, Island box top mid, how many does he get? None, apparently. Jimmy ready for that.
So let's do some fun math, right? Kixon's got 2,100. Does he need another kill to do like a second round drop of the AWP? What does he need?
I don't even know.
It's not even possible.
I don't even know if you'd want to drop
the AWP. Of course
the
not.
AWP.
I'm just wanting to see how realistic, like, is it feasible?
He could drop the AWP, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Oof. Nice. Torji gets some good shots. 4 kills for Kixon. He did get it. So yeah, $5,650 in his bank account. 368 ADR. What a slayer. What a round.
I guess now we can start divulging the CT setup because Kixon is the B anchor, as you've just seen here, doing a fantastic job. Flash through a smoke, knife in hand. Beautiful. Tessus will be the short player. He'll be combining with the likes of m0NESY on the AWP as well as Nico over towards Connector and then Magisk, the other Dane, over towards A.
What a selfless guy as well. Spends all his pennies on a full util belt and an M4 for Nico. Selfless.
And this is where the conversation, everybody was kept quiet from Falcons in the first map, but the three that I mentioned, Tessus, Nico, and m0NESY, they're going to be key. Right? It's great that Kixon gets the multiple kills on the pistol round, is able to help convert them what should be a 2-0 start against this full eco other than a Torji P250.
Couldn't help himself.
But the mid-control fights, and if they're able to, first of all, how many are you going to spot there, Nico? Enough to get you out of there.
Okay, well, his round's kind of, you know, cancelled.
Maybe he should go and give that back to Kixon.
Yeah, maybe.
But, yeah, that trio in mid is either going to have to find opening incisions or be playing well for info or just not dying early. So when the guns come out into the next, we'll see how well they're able to function. But that was a wake-up call for Falcons, as that is too. Bell being run. m0NESY at range. Spams him down with the FAMAS. That was labored, but all 5 staying alive. Can settle into things now. Are they laughing?
Kind of like a light chuckle.
Kixon gave us a cough. Didn't even put his hand over his mouth there.
He's earned it.
All right, well, the AK's invested upon. MOUZ's T-half gets to begin. And have Exertion alongside of Brolin working on the mid-control. Have your Sphinxes and your Jimmies on the extremities. And this is quite direct from MOUZ. Nobody over towards A whatsoever. Loudly through the underpass. So all 5 players working on garnering this space on the map, and they'll get it quite easily. Falcons aren't fighting for this.
Oh, very audible there. Looks like Nico could be a dead man. If he swings out, he does.
Traded, I guess.
Sure, m0NESY will get that. Not the perfect weapon for Magisk to be holding onto ladder room. It looks like Xertion is planning to Molotov him out. Oh, Tessus. He had a golden opportunity there. Magisk has been hit by the flames, so booked by Exertion. m0NESY, ooh, baits him into the commitment of the spray, but still wins out. Nice round we've seen from Exertion as soon as he gets that AK in his hands.
Looks very janky from Falcons, doesn't it?
It did look a bit hectic, a bit squirrely.
And if Exertion gets going, we had a Torji map. If we get an Exertion map, as he is looking for his 4th within the round, knows exactly where Tessus was. Took down Spinks, wants the AK, and, well, Exertion seen him past the line of sight. And there you have it, 4 for Exertion. So,
Good job, bro. Really important.
Oh, man.
I like to get yourself a teammate like Torji.
Yeah, I want a teammate like Torji, just bigging up the boys. And there's not like a lick of like insincerity in everything he says.
And that's a really great sign from your best big game player.
Yeah, true.
know, if the man who's at the top of the scoreboard is still G'ing everybody up.
Well, the battle for a semi-final certainly counts as a big game to him.
Good job, bro. Really important.
Yeah, the MOUZ don't really strike you as the most energetic team when you go. I'm sure that. Oh,
Hello.
Nico's just having a series, isn't he?
Yeah, just gets double nuked. HGs collide with Nico, pushing and testing his limits. They're going to boost Tessus. Is he ready for this? Oh, it doesn't matter. Jimmy takes him, and now Monacy vulnerable.
Oh, he's going.
He's trying to reposition. Oh, perfect. Couldn't be better.
The frustrations are mounting for Falcons now. These
Just
type
that
of
round.
deaths. Oh, double nade kill, dead. Oh, I have to back off from window because we've lost all the bodies. As I'm backpedaling through the murder hole, I get exactly that. And now it's Kixon with an MP9 and Magisk with an M4, and these are the extremity players. Well, they could do with an arm or a leg right now, as it'll be the B finish. So I guess the save, the best we can talk about for Falcons is holding on to guns and getting something better for Kixon.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably, once they start hearing this util on B, maybe you're brave enough to go and send Kixon on a little mission towards those corpses in window. Monacy's M4 likely still there.
He should be close enough now to be able to retrieve it, but this one's a formality at this moment, and I want to go a bit more big picture and see how this sits on your ears. So this matchup right now, a nice confidence booster against the Falcons for MOUZ, especially with Austin right around the corner. The flip side of that, and it's not to do with Falcons, it's actually to do with Vitality. So they're still on their win streak. I believe it's 27 now? It's starting to get a bit astronomical, isn't it? They're locked into that second place in history. How much more can they add? But this event, this is the primer for the major. The problem is the only event that you've lost this year that you've attended was Bounty. That was your first event with Rops, and you lost to Aurora, aka EF at the time, who are currently locking horns on our B stream if you want to go check that one out. Now you come into this event and you say, okay, well, the major's the most important, but how does a loss, or a potential loss, they haven't lost yet,
Sure.
but how does a potential loss sit on the brains of Vitality going into the major?
Because obviously you can't always control like when your team is power spiking, but ideally you'd be doing it right around now, right? You'd be getting into that form, ready to rock up, smash the group stage, and you'd be laughing.
Well, stage 3 is still not for a couple of weeks.
That's true too.
So stage 3 doesn't start for 22 days. So I believe that Vitality after this event are one of the teams who are going to be going back to
Full
Europe,
reset,
right?
yeah.
And that's something that Vitality have done better than every team so far. We can talk about that more during the Mongols series coming up, but winning has afforded them the ability to skip these events, and it's worked out fine for them. They've actually been able to recharge.
And that was the nasty Nico death. Yeah, what are you supposed to do? Just roll your eyes and laugh at your misfortune.
Accept your fate.
Yeah.
So 2 saved M4s, 3 USPs, and a little bit of utility walk into round number 5. The helicopter, very audible there, wasn't
I
it?
heard that, yeah. The Red Arrow's doing a show.
Hey, these connector players keep getting caught off, don't they?
Yeah,
I know it's
saw
Kixon
it.
this time, traditionally a B defender, but MOUZ going for these dry swings and fights. Boosted up for the late activation is Exertion. I want to say B to be tested. It's not a test when it's just a player with a USP. B to be overrun.
Yeah. Oh, he just saw you. And hasn't been able to finish off the job. Xerxes gets away. Would have been a nice pick-off had he converted.
Now the gamble from Falcons isn't going to pay off here, is it?
It isn't. I mean, I suppose the main conversation will be like, can you do some exits? Like, can you put your USP somewhere to leave with a third rifle?
He can still limit the MOUZ individual's cash, so that's an astute point, as here they come. Tessa says, hi guys.
I have a USP.
There's nothing I can do about this, I'm sorry.
It's freaking me out that they're actually positioning the M4s closer.
Oh, both M4s cops and nades!
Again with the nades. MOUZ, fair play. Great utility usage.
Yeah,
I'm going to check their util damage.
Must be some nice, after this round concludes, for... Who got the kill onto... Was it Exertion who got the kill onto Nico in the previous?
Yeah. So it was Exertion and Jimmy's nades
Okay.
combined. So currently, I've got my eyes on the numbers. Prior to this round, was Exertion and Jimmy with the util damage. Torji actually takes 2 of them down, so it's just the M4 saved. No bonus extra exits or anything of that ilk.
I still have 2 more games of Counter-Strike coming your way for your Wednesday. Vitality Mongols next on the mainstream with Alex and myself, Gamer Legion and G2, once the Aurora Heroic game comes to its conclusion, and that has the same stakes. Winner of Gamer Legion G2 will be the last team locked in for the playoffs. Friday will be the quarterfinals, Saturday the semis, grand final on Sunday, with the best of 5 to conclude.
Yeah, banging nade there from Spinks.
What did he get up to?
He did 106 damage with 1 nade.
Damn. That ain't bad at all.
Not bad at all. Jimmy as well with about 90.
Look at this direct approach. Again, so many bodies fighting for mid.
Oh, Monacy's managed to find a very clean headshot through the smoke. Nico gets away with his life, just about.
The connector harass is insane.
Oh, and a very cheeky one from Magis there. Torji, right understandably, assumes he won't be getting any more friction. So Magis, just a little crouch peek in, picks off the AWPer.
But it is a very interesting approach from MOUZ early within these rifle rounds. The willingness just to have almost all of their bodies tasked with fighting towards middle. And that's allowed a player like Tessus to push all the way through Palace and get his team some information. It is a man advantage. There's 1 minute and 10 left on the clock. Collision course right now with Brolin and Tessus.
That gets very awkward very quickly if Tessus hits another. Oh, headshot finds Zershan. He's getting overrun.
Oh.
Dink Spinks with a USP. So he's got Zershan down to 19, Spinks limping at 40. And they're splitting up and searching for clues, Scooby style.
I like this from Nico because he can actually give up the bomb site from this position. And if they do waltz into A and go for the plant, he can play spoiler after the fact. Kixon also aggressive, so they have secured the extremities. Oh, and that's the bomb. So, best of luck to you, Exertion. You're about to be found from Nico in Palace. And now you may as well just save. 20 seconds left. Kixon coming to constrict the movements. And Falcons will tie the game back up 3-3.
Awkward exchange towards T-Spawn there, wasn't it, for Brolan?
Well, that essentially plays into exactly what I was saying. If you're going to be playing so heavy towards middle, then the ability for the CTs to be able to slink in on the extremities and find some space and find a wry smile on the face there at Monacy. On the face? On the face.
On the face.
On the face.
It's Australian for face. So this was a little bit of luck. Gets Jimmy on the pick off, and then Magisk as well stepping up and delivering that frag onto Torji. Here's the exchange on T-Spawn we were discussing. A gap left open.
Bloody hell. What? Is it Counter-Strike or is it like an NBA final or a college football game at the moment in the US? I'm not sure.
I think Heroic's energy is contagious. And Aurora are trying to fight fire with fire as far as the volume goes.
Nade to half.
Oh, poor soul. Monacy and Nico have taken early damage.
Well, at least this time, no early opening kill for either side of the server.
Okay, well, window smoke implies Monacy's going to get some action. Overextension could be caught off by that boosted player, or rather the bench player. Testing Nico, he gets one. Brolan trades. Spinks starts to cook, and yeah, the A site's open for business. If Magis goes down, he's done well for the first. Spinks above him. Torji comes in as well, but it's Spinks with a double entry. Should see the bomb go down, but they both connect their duels. Kixon and Monacy simultaneously connect, and now Torji thrust into a clutch. He can win this. Kixon walking CT. Monacy last seen short. How does he reposition?
No, he had to fire a bullet from the AWP.
I mean, he hasn't planted for himself, so he's counting on hitting them on the way through. It's a strong angle. Will Kixon overextend, be able to be isolated by Torji's AWP? It seems imminent now. Flash does connect, though. Forces Torji tucked into the corner. Now they're going to double swing it. That's how you play against an AWPer. No options for Torji unless they got collatted by his first pull of the trigger.
And I think that was the stress on Sonic's face right there because they were very close to each other with the spacing. The Falcons will take the lead, edging ahead by 1 round. A 4v2 immediately goes, what was it? No, it was a 3v4, sorry.
So this kill, Spinks gets another one.
So then, yeah,
and
3v2.
And then Kickson and Monacy both hit those shots in
exactly.
unison.
All right, well, it is going to be a tactical timeout called by Cycron, so MOUZ are the ones who could potentially having a bit of a change in the game plan. If we look at what they've done on the T side, it's been very, very mid-heavy with the harass. That was mid-heavy with 3 with a double A lurk. Jimmy out ramp, Spinks out palace. Do they continue with these more direct calls? Because that's the plan from the start, especially if you're sending both players over towards A. They're looking for a timing based off your mid-info, looking to see if they can sneak out and punish the A defender. Well, that means Magis did very well to get 1. He only has 2 kills, but an important one. Jimmy's going to be operating with just a Deagle. There's 3 AKs and Torji with a Galil. More than enough util to make this one work.
Nico, careful now. I feel like every round has started with Nico taking some form of damage.
Indeed. And MOUZ have actually run this same pattern earlier in the piece. It was Spinks and Brolin noisy underpass. But the change appears to be not looking to fight middle. So they got what they were looking for. I also guess by having the 3 top mid, if there is like a late mid flash push, MOUZ have players who are ready to clamp down and look for those trades late. And now they're resetting into a finish towards A.
Well, it seems like whatever their opening was in as far as deception goes and sound cues made, it's led Falcons to overinvest into the B defense. 3 players here.
So what smokes are Brolin and Exertion going to throw? It's just going to be a replenish of window and maybe a deep connector, make it look like a cat split. Monacy will be able to detect that early. Make it look like a B split.
I do like the proactivity though. They've pushed apps. It's led Tessus to start cheating back over just in time. Palace smoked. They're going to have to push through. Nico! Oh, he finds the angle as they emerge. Lovely collaboration from the defense on A. Magisk and Nico get the job done. Just Brolan remaining. Should be nothing here for him. And just in the side of the head, Tessus will strike. They got the info. They weren't just going to let that exec come in dry. They took some initiative, took some info, and managed to make that look easy.
Yeah, that's one of the things with the blind stacks or the semi-informed stacks, right? So whatever the opening was, they'd rotate over towards B, then nothing comes their way. Well, we need to play for something, and it's probably better to play forward than play back and get caught in this pendulum swing. So MOUZ will be humbled down to just some pistols. 4 Deagles and a P250, as well as a smoke for good measure. Lost bonus for them going into the next of the 2900.
Oh, yes.
Starts perfectly for Falcons. I think that round right there is one of the best in terms of the way the communication flowing for Falcons.
Yeah.
The fact that they're able to stay so fluid.
Roland's lost his gun. Anyone have seen it? It's like a red little Glock.
It is a nice knife that he has, though, isn't it?
It is nice.
Be good if he could inspect it so everyone at home could get a clear look.
Oh, he just did. There it is. Okay.
Come on back, Brolin. We found it.
Opportunity for Kickson to get himself a couple of extra frags. He's already got the craziest KD in the server with an 8-1 scoreline. Hey, we can get it even crazier. Or not. How about a second death handed to him by the Jimmy Deagle? Pursuing that bomb plant, punching in the code frantically. Some nice Deagle headshots. Should have facilitated it. Spinks hits another one onto Monacy.
I'm going to give him a chance on this one.
Yeah, I think so, you know. Nico and Magis getting a little sweaty palms. They don't want to let this one get stolen away by Spinks. Okay, Nico. A necessary headshot hit. And he said he promised it. He promised it to Lude. Roland given the gift of a bomb plant for his next call.
That does actually mean that either Jimmy or Spinks can drop an AWP across to Torji. Could buy one for himself, but if you want to make sure you have head armor and all the goodies, then it should be dropped across. And I believe that Spinks is the one who's facilitated that. So the bomb going down does actually make things a whole lot tidier for this full buy for MOUZ. Still can tie the half up 6-6. Falcons have been starting to get the better of these opening exchanges. They've won out 6 opening duels so far.
A total of 360 utility damage from the MOUZ camp.
Oh, missed window.
Missed window, certainly not what they were aiming for.
Well, they're going B, at least with Brolin.
Yeah, it's a full exec, or at least it's an implication of an exec. Bit of fakery here. Nico not going to be caught out. Exertion down early. Nice from Testes as well. Wins out on Brolan. Monacy gets a lot of nade damage onto Jimmy and gets away with confirmation of mid being occupied. Jimmy pivots back. An audible step for Testes to relay. Not going to be easy from here, is it? 500 or thereabouts. Still healthy Falcons. Nico just taking an early lick.
It is hard to see how they could lose this round because MOUZ don't even have space. You know, if you find yourself in a 5v3 but you're able to get in connector or maybe you have a player in jungle, then you could see how the dominoes could start to fall into place. But with this, Magic's close on A ramp, honestly playing ticket with the AWP. You've got Testes here on short. He can play for info and drop back. Nico very passive watching the vent and kicks it on B. The setup is very strong. 30 seconds as it appears that might just see MOUZ save. Not the most exciting of finishes to the round, but they want to make sure that they can get 4 or maybe 5 before that halftime break. Another opening kill coming in the favor of Falcons in this one. Nico gets himself up to 3 in total now. And 3 of your 6 kills are openings. That's pretty good.
Yeah, you can't complain. I think they certainly would complain if any of them died after time here, but doesn't look like Falcons are going to be remotely close. They will bring 3 weapons through. $0 on Spinks, so we won't be contributing any additional nades in the flashbang he's brought into this one. Looking down the line, a chance for Brolan perhaps to give an inspired call because MOUZ, they are going to be limited here, Chad.
Yeah, Exertion and Brolan can both fully invest. It'll just be Galil's in lieu of the AK-47s. And next and final round will be max loss bonus, so if they get the plant, they'll have another buy round. So still a chance to get 4 or 5.
Oh, okay, faking mid-control with the extra flashes thrown from the A side of the map, and now a quick test of Magic's A. Throws out a timely smoke ramp. Palace is the gap. It's being held by Monacy. No, it's not. He's just transitioned back. Brolan picks off Magisk and they're in. It's just Monacy's AWP here. Swips out to the Deagle with nothing to report. MOUZ. Pace change. Nico does kick up a fuss. Just the one onto Spinks. Trying to compose himself with the taps onto Brolan, but down he goes and Kixon, last man to fall. MOUZ have taken this one convincingly. Brolan getting bigged up by his boys as he doubles his kill total and secures a vital round for MOUZ.
There's been very few rounds that I would say that MOUZ have played like default. It's like, okay, let's establish mid control. Once we have mid control, now let's get a player in vent, or let's get a player in connector, let's get a player in the window boost, right? It always feels a bit more direct with this T-side calling, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means all your eggs tend to be in 1.5 baskets.
Sure.
And right now, this one, huge for Brolan, contributing as we do get into the final round, first half, second map. Both teams full board, mid-control.
Ooh, Nico, a real golden opportunity to get an early pick off here. Exertion versus Nico. And down goes Nico empty-handed. Testes tries to do what he could, and oh yes he can! Gets 2, clears out mid, and Monacy, he's got their attempted response on lock. Catches Brolan with his AWP. Okay, yep, no, Kixon catches Jimmy walking through a smoke, and this one has been a quick swatting away of MOUZ's foiled plans in mid.
Monacy was quite quiet on map number 1, was the highest rated player in the tournament going into this series, and he's back into map number 2. Now it's just Spinks in a 1-on-4 gone 1v3, and I think this one's done.
See if he can get anything. He pauses. He has got time, but cleared out now by Magisk. And an 8 for Falcons. They're trying to make a strong case that this series requires 3 maps. Have MOUZ got what it takes to finish it in 2 when we return from our break? We're right at the end of Counter-Strike's 2025 first season of the year. Major just around the corner, and we've got two of the Counter-Strike's most elite locking horns in a match for a semi-final bye. The playoffs secured for both. But MOUZ looking to demonstrate that they can beat a team like Team Falcons. Ever since m0NESY arrived in that Falcons jersey, it's not been easy for MOUZ, but they stand a map up, and they stand with just 4 rounds trying to make that work here with a CT pistol that could help.
If you are just joining us, the MOUZ winning map number 1 is the first time they have taken a map off of Falcons since m0NESY joined. That's how tough it's been. They're going to line up for a B execute right now. It is going to be Jimmy, the man to defend. He'll have support from Spinks on short, and here they come.
Okay, Jimmy, what's your pro calls here? Spinks flashed off initially. Jimmy dancing around the side, put to rest by Kixin immediately. Spinks on short side, sure, rotations coming through. Brolin and Torji will approach from market side. Zershan partners up with Spinks. Starting to advance now. Who takes that first pick off? It looks good. It looks great from m0NESY. Never mind. The round is done.
Oof, that's more convincing than the first pistol where Kixin literally knifed somebody in a smoke. So that's both pistols. That's 3 out of the 4 for Falcons in this series so far. And that feels like it's map number 2 in the books.
Yeah, we're not on Dust2 anymore, huh?
Now they've made the necessary adjustments, MOUZ, from the last 2 losses on Dust2. They decided to move away from Nuke as their pick in the veto. They'll still get it as the 3rd. Oh, he's giving out free advice. m0NESY's giving out free advice. You need to wide peek. Well, we'll see if MOUZ take that in the future because they forced into this with MP9s aplenty. And they're getting farmed. They've given Falcons a bit of confidence now. Should be able to punt this one in. Unless something crazy happens. Brolin's close A ramp. Jimmy's over towards the balcony. The rotation is heading back over to A.
Yeah, it has me a little nervous, especially knowing that a little MP9 bullet could finish off m0NESY with ease. They are all pathing back towards Brolin.
I guess the question is, does m0NESY wait for his teammates? And I think the answer is no. So he's going to be slightly ahead. What's the trade potential? Oh, Brolin's hearing this. Brolin's hearing this.
He hears them coming. He gets just the one and gets traded out by Nico.
The other 2 are both here.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy might go overlooked.
Spotted. Maybe Jimmy gets overlooked, and maybe that MP9 kill from Brolin has set them up for success. There's Jimmy. Gets his, dips down, elevated angle. Now they strike in unison. Torji pushes through, becomes a 1v1. Nico doesn't have the health for this. He'd have to hit the bullets, and he does. Finds Jimmy. Oh, what a golden opportunity for MOUZ. It comes down to just 3 HP on 1 opponent, but Nico wins it.
Looking like that was going to inject some life into MOUZ right there.
It did, didn't it?
I feel that they, and I know, actually, I don't feel, I can see that they are just going to force buy out the map.
Yeah.
So there is a M4 available for Jimmy. He had 3.75, is able to get himself the biggest gun on the CT side. 2 Famises, an MP9, and a Scout to work with. So if they can take Falcons down in this one, with Nico being the only man staying alive in the previous, there's a chance to force them into a very, very poor force buy. A-ramp aggression from 2. That just will be put on high alert. I think the big issue for them is lack of head armor if they tussle with this SMG. And they're going back to A once more. So smokes, flashes, even a couple of mollies in the mix for an A execute. Could just do the standard up-down. Lay in the site with flames and flash yourself in for the finish. Kixin just selling something over towards mid in the interim, and he'll head back to group up with the rest of his team. 3 through Palace. So the execute I was talking about, throw that in the bin. This is going to be a surprise.
And just running out with his MAC-10 out. There you go. Exposed head popped. And just the space take up. Tessa's ripping heads. How clean was that?
He is sharp, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's just, there are some players that it's just, their gameplay is extra pleasurable to watch. Like, it's just like, oh, this is, you know, extra smooth.
Yeah, like
it's got like steez to
remember his spray transfer from jungle?
Yes,
right? That was insane.
But
I feel like in this Falcons jersey, his aim is, I don't think it's gone up a notch. Maybe we're just taking notice of it more with the type of positions he gets to play. He's looking clinical, knows that he has to play for his spot on this team, so that might even be driving him a bit more. But it's the same when we were watching Tanir play yesterday, right? Like, he is like laser focused, and his clears, the crosshair placement, the time to kill, it's great to watch. And we're saying that with Nico in the server, right? And Nico, sure, he won that clutch, but he hasn't looked anywhere near as clean as Tessa so far.
And you heard MOUZ talking about it just moments ago about crouch, and that has been the word of the day as far as, you know, evolving meta that in the micro with Counter-Strike, here in CS2, the movement and the way in which you manipulate your model in gunfights has become the next elevation, hasn't it, of gameplay. I wondered your thoughts on that. You've seen, of course, Donk being the kind of the figurehead of the movement. People perhaps, you know, applying the misnomer of Donk slide to a much more nuanced discussion about how you maneuver during a fight.
I recommend people go and check out Ash, the coach of Gamer Legion's YouTube channel. He did a video about Kioske, right?
Yes,
or Kiosuke. You can pronounce it however you want. I really don't care.
Good video. I watched that recently.
Yeah, talking about the Kiosuke also has that movement mastered, right? So swinging out, take the first couple of shots, crouch, strafing, right? The way that they're microing in those decisions, essentially causing the enemy to miss as they're adjusting to the head. You've already taken a few shots. You're then crouching under their bullets, standing back up.
We're not talking about holding crouch either. Sometimes you're just talking about tapping it, just so your model kind of dips under their initial first bullet. I mean, we're talking like Neo from the Matrix type beat.
There's been a couple within, well, actually there's been a lot, right? There used to be crouch bobbing in 1.6. Source was all about the consistent movement. In CSGO and CS2, like jiggle peeking, which is something that we all just take for granted now, is something that, you know, was a period of time where not everybody was doing it.
Well, we've heard plenty about angle holding and the difficulties CS2 presents with that. Always active. Look at Brolan, prime example, staying wiggly. I think that's a technical term. Well, we have got all 10 players in the server, or sorry, 9. Torji is on B. Rather close to congregating and clashing, but it seems like something's been called off. Kixon's got a feeling he wants to go and redistribute some window util.
It's just so quiet across the map.
This feels like MOUZ is going to get a rude shock, but his pre-aim looks pretty good. Okay, Brolan gets his first, leaping into a second attempt and trying to find the double up with Zertian. It's kept level. Got 35 to find their finish. Out of Palace comes Magist. Nade does light damage, smattering to Spinks, but the smoke, the most important feature, should enable a plant. Kixon hesitant, understandably so. A stray bullet could bring him down. Lose the round. Oof, Torji misses his scout bullet. Good nade damage though onto Nico. Brought low and a great follow-up.
Torji
scout connects. They haven't planted yet, Chad. This is over. Okay, MOUZ, they fight back.
Has been force after force after force, but finally they've been able to break through. Now, Falcons, what do your finances look like? There's 3 AKs at a minimum. Nico, Kixon, and Magisk all can buy easily. Tessus and MOUZ could both get into Galil, so shouldn't be any issues trying to fight fire with fire in the force department. But how far does that spur MOUZ forward? It's a tough game to get back into. I would like to see it go the distance because they've also clashed twice on Nuke within a month, and MOUZ will have had learnings from that. Remember, this is a 6-map streak for MOUZ on Mirage that could be broken in only 2 rounds' time, so you can understand the confidence to want to change the choice. But great to see this evolving between these two teams as we do head into the major in just a couple of weeks' time, as Nico finds another opener. He's been good in that department.
That's what you want to see if you're a Falcons fan. Spinks claws one back onto Kixon top mid boxes. Asking questions of Jimmy.
2 on B to defend this, so still well positioned to MOUZ.
Yeah, it looks like this could be a really hard hold. If Spinks goes down. Okay, here's the info. And Spinks does go down, so Jimmy's left to his own devices. He's only got 6 bullets in his mag, and now a bullet between his eyes. Torji rotates through.
They're giving it a go.
Yeah, they are. Gonna try and get ahead of that smoke, slip through. Oh, and not looking, Magisk. The awareness from Torji to ensure that smoke didn't make the impact sound cue leads to an overlook of his aggressions. Puts us into a 2v2. There's m0NESY's Khalil from the B apartments, and these two, Nico, m0NESY, they convert. They ensure MOUZ don't find consecutive CT rounds. They ensure that the conversation about map 3 continues.
You know what's curious about that is the position that Jimmy had adopted told me that he was scared of the B walkout, and then it feels like Spinks didn't believe it. He was like, I'll check, Jimmy. Yeah. It's okay, man. And then the jump, he's out of position, gets run down. Jimmy does his best to try and stem the bleed, but just overwhelmed, overrun. Torji with the heroic play ahead of the smoke gets a kill to make it interesting. But 12 confirmed, and the map streak about to be broken for MOUZ.
Yeah, what was it, 6 in a row?
6 in a row.
Oh, it's not going to be seeing a 7th. Certainly feels that way. 7 consecutive demanded of them, and then pulled up with scouts and MP9s. Through Con, questions of Xertion, getting run and jumped at by a Mac-10, and he's done very well, you know. By getting his, Spinks as well from short side another. Brolan dinks up on the Palace player. This one has fallen through the fingers of Falcons. Or the feathers.
Good to see MOUZ still showing fight. How the low HP of the M&M duo. Looking to combine over towards middle. Jimmy's rotated towards B. Torji's in the window. Brolan over towards CT spawn. The shots need to be clean, which means Falcons either need to be clearing these angles diligently, making sure the crosshair placement is perfect, or get the jump on either of these individuals. Jimmy's pushing Cat. Does he get a great timing? SMG at range will do.
It would work, but it looks like they're going to be masked by that turn of the corner. m0NESY and Magisk.
Torji should have him. Oh, he's in between two mines.
Not looking.
He's flicking back and forth, or at least he was. Not anymore, not anymore.
Oh, yeah, just in time.
Oh.
Did he?
He must have, yeah. MOUZ moving.
They worked it out, they worked it out. And there's a nice one from Brolan. Sweeps the last 2 under the rug. Keep going. Yeah, that's the mantra. It has to be. I mean, you're cornered. You cannot concede another round if you want to keep your Mirage streak going. It has to be 6 more.
Tough for Jimmy. Only kept his hands on the MP9. Couldn't find a rifle in the mix there. So still, there will be a MOUZ full buy. Whereas Falcons continue to find himself in the min loss bonus. Okay, Khalil, a couple of digs and a P250. The fight is there for the markings of a comeback. Winning this one will get them up to 7 and more than likely guarantee them the 8th, just making it 4 rounds required to get them up to the 12-12 scoreline to force this into OT. And MOUZ know that.
Burning through their util quite swiftly though, MOUZ. Aggressions towards the ramp. Valuable intel to inform the remaining setup. Torji holding the short cross, Spinks to react off of the intel. He gets that clean headshot to the back of the head of TSS, traded by Nico. That AK does deliver a necessary equalizer.
They want that gun.
Yeah, a bit of parkour to secure it. Nice little nade from the CTs there. Not overcommitting. 45. They're hoping MOUZ overplay their hand here.
Brolan's push could be round winning.
Yeah, looks like it might be arriving just after Kixon calls it clear. You know, it's going to be that little moment. Too late. Oh, he rounds the corner. No one's looking. Nico is, I tell a lie. He's actually holding, walking, dead to Brolan. An important pick off. MOUZ should have them exactly where they want them now. Forced, channeled into Xertion's A site. A headshot hit by Spinks. Denies the plant. Clean.
All right, well, now they know they've forced Falcons into the 1900 loss. Yeah, we have a great push. Very good push indeed. So with the 1900 loss coming through, it is going to have to be the eco taken by Falcons now. No point trying to force the hand anymore. So 12-7, about to come 12-8, unless this Nico Deagle can go absolutely bananas. He's all of us.
But yeah, and he mutes his mic before he does it. So
that's what
notes.
Shox used to do too. Shox used to insta-mute and then just like
Just slam it up and just wax lyrical.
I want to remind everybody, Alex, that we do have the Aurora vs. Heroic game going on. It's gotten quiet, which tells me it's gotten tense. So map number 3, if you want to go and check that one out, whack that up on a second monitor, your phone, maybe even put it on the first. So that one's for all the marbles. Winner of that will be locking themselves in for the playoffs as our 5th team.
He's justified his deagle as Nico. Forces the rebuy onto exertion, but that is all. That is all they'll be getting. Oh, maybe not all. Put it away. The temptation for a moment there. Modesty thought he had a back turned.
Toji turns his MP9 into an M4, and now he should be able to get given an AWP or just buy his own. So this is the thing. You may as well spend your pennies. You lose one round and you're done, MOUZ. So it is just now a 4-round game. This has become more than doable, manageable, in their wheelhouse to keep the dream alive and push it to OT for a potential 2-0 against Falcons. Falcons are lacking in their purchase. A Galil for Kixon, limited utility.
And a very direct call.
It's Torji, the only man on B. He was the hero on Dust2. Actually, he was the king of the castle on Dust2.
He certainly was. And now with his AWP primed and ready, he doesn't need any help. He's going to do some fallback AWPing, demonstrated perfectly as he removes the first, drops off, repositions, just in time for another. Torji, solo hold of his sight, just racks them up, sends them back from whence they came. Torji does it all for MOUZ. Superstar level AWPing. His domain, and he delivers.
Record that, right? Put it in a frame. Put that on the fridge. Send it to all of the AWPers in any of your teams in Counter-Strike. That's exactly how you do it. You saw the angle management there. It is absolutely perfect. That is exactly what you want from your AWPer.
Chef's kiss.
You miss one shot, yeah, the dominoes fall down. Just don't miss, and Torji demonstrates that perfectly. That's how you can manage those angles. That's how you can put on a show, and that's how you can make this just a 3-round game. What was an eco into a bye will now be a partial. There's 3 likely to become 2. Falcons, I know they only need 5 kills. One more round, shove this over to Nuke. But they are being made to work.
This timing of his arrival here, just as that body rounds the corner, it's just a thing of beauty. Good. Just marvelous, marvelous sequence out of Torji. 4 bullets expended, 4 bodies on the ground.
Yeah, that's like when you have Device on Inferno in A. The way that he manages those angles, that's beautiful. I love everything about that sequence from Torji. Yeah, they're trying it again, Alex.
Appreciate the craft. No AWP this time, but Jimmy, he might get early answers. HE scuttles into Magic's face. Additional block util from Spinks puts him on half health. Okay, they do avoid that Spinks spam.
Do you brave the smoke? It looks like they're gravitating towards it.
I see a lot of flashes being pulled out. 3 players are about to layer their flashbangs into this site. How does Jimmy handle this? Damage jumped over the majority. TSS down. No trade. Jim jumping in for Magisk to attempt to get his boots on the ground. Just the one from the Nico Deeg, but the rotations arrived. Cavalry canters over. A missed shot from the Nico Deeg. Won't get many more chances. Monacy and Nico, though, are trying to make a case. Hasn't been able to track Jimmy cleanly. Gets him low on that bench position, but closed in on from every angle. It's Jimmy's turn for the multi-kill in defense of B. And what was previously seeming like a pipe dream of 7 consecutive has become now just a realistic 2.
Spinks had something he really wanted to get across to the team there.
I did my best to talk over it so we couldn't hear it.
No. They cut the mics on it anyway, but he said guys, and there was a message that he wanted to kind of get through in that situation. And when you reflect on some of these back and forth rounds we had earlier in the piece, it was very direct from Falcons, wasn't it? It was grouped up a lot of the time, and we'll see now if they want to try and finish with something a bit more default, as Tessus and Nico in through underpass, Kixon and Monacy top mid, Magisk in spawn to lob out some late mid-control util. But you know MOUZ are going to have everything. It's that late smoke from Magisk, lands in window. Control. It is Falcons if they want it. Oh, blocks the smoke by accident, Torshi. That might help.
Certainly might. Nico's going to probably give that a wide berth. Doesn't want to get caught out investigating too vigorously. Again with Jimmy's B-side, they really want to try and punish, and Torji around the gap, he manufactured by virtue of the block smoke. m0NESY just the one. Spinks has already got that double. Movement from m0NESY is a thing to behold. It was beautiful, but not enough. Not at all. Again, sent back to spawn.
6 consecutive rounds as part of this comeback now. Oh, I wish we could have those mics on all the time.
Of course.
It would be so good.
I mean, you know, he's been sitting on this timeout, watching as his team flails to close it out. But Zonic decides to save it for the last round of regulation, his last 30-second chat, and they don't even have like all the bells and whistles. They don't even have the buy.
Because the loss bonus is in place, sure, but within that 6 consecutive spree, you didn't plan the bomb once.
Well, that limits your funds. MOUZ are basically licking their lips thinking that this 7th round is a gimme. They've just done it against harder buys. And one more would just be a huge release of the pressure valve.
12-5.
12-5 to 12-12 is one hell of a comeback.
And the energy that they brought into map number 1, I don't think it disappeared into map number 2, but Falcons were just here to play. They had woken up. Oh, looks like we have a bit of a tech. You don't love to see that so late in the piece, but Cycrin and the ref exchanging a smile.
Yeah. I mean, there is the odd occasion where like your mic doesn't unmute and you'll end up burning your 30 seconds and not getting a chance to talk to your troops. But it looks like the timer is ticking down. Admin team have yet to interject, so I can only assume that this 24th round is about to go down. God, it's tough for IGL when you're in this position, you know, struggling to close out on the T side. You feel kind of exhausted and out of ideas. Your players are struggling to bring the same energy they once were.
It's a mid feign into an A execute.
That's the call.
Torji, right place again. That was the story of him on Dust2. He's over towards Ticket to help the likes of Brolin deal with this A play. Smokes are in the air.
Yeah, sailing through. No immediate commitment. And then a second wave. Now the util sails through. Torji under scrutiny. Oh, that was the fight. That was what it was all about, was finding Torji early. He's been caught out by Nico. He still takes one. Tessus needs cover. They could jump up here. Nico's not looking. Oh, and the spam from Exertion. The bomb's still planted. Spinks combined. Exertion another. It all falls apart, and MOUZ have completed it. 7 consecutive rounds. They stand their ground.
What was that from Exertion? He gets 2 kills just completely through a smoke there as part of the retake. That's insane. And Torji gets 1 kill, caught out of position, trying to play anti-flash. They're leaking out. Palace still gets away with this. That's the bomb planner. And then he gets another one. He just peppers through the smoke again for another kill.
Just like that, and then Brolin will finish off the job. m0NESY had to get proactive, and that is beautiful from MOUZ.
That was really good, Torji. That was really good.
He's not wrong.
Well, that's Aurora. Yeah, that's definitely Aurora. That's the signature Zantara's...
Zantara's siren.
That's the Zantara's G-up right there, I think. Okay, 12-5 to 12-12.
Accidentally blocks the incendiary. It doesn't burn him out, and it had an opportunity.
Sorry, what?
I don't even know anymore. So many moving parts all over the place.
The cohesion, like the coordination, the coordination of MOUZ right now. This is like Cirque du Soleil level of choreography and perfection.
Like, it's like they've spent 8 months working on this routine that we're watching right now.
It's a thing of beauty.
Everything, like every piece, like the little bit of bait, the little bit of util, a little bit of comms, a little bit of everything.
Just that sequence right there was... They must have cleared the windows,
I presume so. Torji didn't just blindly...
Well, maybe he did.
Maybe he did.
Maybe he did.
I'd like to think that they were thrown and he had vision of his opponent.
Falcons have now lost...
8 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. You're good.
We're going to run out of fingers soon. Alex, if I can start using your toes.
Yeah, easy, man. I'll get the socks off. Nico having a go. And Spinks perfectly waits it out. Evil, maniacal. Immediately. Audio thinks it's probably best.
Please, I want to hear.
Oh, yeah. No, they have to be...
Hey, just leave it on for us.
Yeah, just so you can be
Just leave it on for us, all right?
the radio man.
I'll work for free if you leave it on for us.
Yeah, oh gosh, the things you could learn. Well,
I want to see that sequence from like a cam, like
right, bird's eye view,
eye.
slowly panning across middle as it all goes down.
The jump, the spot, the clear, the... Oh. Save that one for Halloween.
Well done, production. You continue to surprise and impress. Will Falcons win another round? Like, will 12 be all they get?
It's so crazy this half as well.
Not looking. It's just
Get deleted.
misery. There's something from Nico running into Brolan as well. Can't be ready for that one. Brolan bests him 2-on-4. 2-on-1. Oh, okay. Tessus is alive. Maybe not for long. The nade could do it.
And yeah, they know exactly where he was. So this is going to be 14 now for MOUZ. The confidence is through the roof. Oh.
You know what, Chad? This, if they can close this out, is going to be such an incredible statement for everything that we've talked about, everything that we've discussed as to why this matters, why this is especially important for MOUZ. If they can win in this fashion, in the way in which they're winning right here in front of our very eyes, this just sets up a red carpet for a real battle of the top 3, top 4, whatever you want to frame it, coming into the major, coming in to the end of the season.
The early start to the CT half for MOUZ, right? They lost the pistol. No, they didn't even get a kill.
Nope.
Right, and then they bought MP9s. They didn't win that round. And then they had just been force buying non-stop until eventually they had broken through. And once they had broken through, humbled the finances of Falcons, you think, okay, it's worth a couple of rounds, sure. But they still had 5 or 6 rounds at that point to try and bridge the gap. And now they're just 2 rounds away.
You know, the AUG up at that range from Jimmy could be that one-shot headshot. Clean with it. Removes TSS. Opening kill goes MOUZ's way. Can they keep the sheet clean on the CT side? Looking for a spotless run. Look at them all equipped with AK-47s. Their prizes from their earlier skirmish. Definitely feeling some pressure is exertion in this ladder room, but that smoke now fades. And Kixon, is he going to oblige? Crosshair bang into the head, but no, doesn't pull the trigger in time. Kixon, he will equalize. Brolan doesn't let that last for long. Immediate destruction of Magisk and Kixon. They're accelerating towards the AWP. They want to test Torji one last time on this T side. And MOUZ are keeping it perfect. They're keeping it spotless. A run of 7 to get to OT. Throw another 3 on top. That's double digits consecutive from MOUZ from 12-5 to 15-12.
I can't believe it, 10 straight rounds. And how many of those rounds have Falcons been able to plant the bomb? Once?
Once.
That's insane.
It is a real feather in MOUZ's cap.
This is, you know, the tall guy putting the hand on the short guy, and the short guy's swinging. He's doing his best.
Yeah.
He's not even getting close.
I can't quite believe what we're witnessing.
The tenacity of MOUZ.
Yeah, and that's what it
factor
is.
of today.
100%.
Context being semi-finals await the winner of this. Torji.
Bang.
Top at the...
Ooh, leg shot.
Damn. Oh, the nade will do it.
Of course there's a nade. It's all it's been about, their T-side nade placement as well. And his Molotov seems like it's destined for glory. Tessus has slipped out. Maybe he catches him if he overextends. Just dumping util, that's info in itself. Nico maintains his position that any late arrivals to mid will be held.
Tessus's push is insane. They don't even need to play on mid anymore. Obviously, they need to monitor it, but Tessas can either clear out B completely, or he can flank A. He's taking the latter of the two options. Magic's tucked in towards Sandwich, so it's all about the timing of this. Tessas isn't going to catch them. Magic needs a minimum of 1.
Zertion's actually cognizant.
Magic's just swung. He must have been mollied.
Ready for Tessas. So yeah, Magic's got forced out by the flame. In the meantime, Zertion tends to the flank. And it's just crumbled in front of our very eyes. Falcons left wanting once more.
I feel like the molly wasn't even meant to land there.
No, I don't think so. I think it was just enough of a sound cue, enough of a spread. It just dripped down into Sandwich. And you may as well call this one a 2-0. From 12-5 down. Falcons, again, unable to cross the finish line. 12 is where their round total should end. Dreams of Nuke, dreams of a third map. An incredible double-digit consecutive run, so long as they can stop that defuse from occurring right here and now. Nico doing his best. The nade is perfect, and it does find Kixon. Nico down and out. It's MOUZ securing the semi-final, the other side of the bracket of the big bad Vitality.
Whoa, that is absolute domination on your opponent's map pick. 13-4. Falcons pick Dust2 again, and they get blown out of the water. They go have a break, they have a chat, and they screw their heads on tight, but